We're calling it Out of the Box. The reason being is our businesses need to see the future and where it's going. Today was about putting together a host of partners who could talk to you about where their marketplace was going or is going today, and to help you look at your business and how you can grow it in the future profitably and productively and effectively. So I hope today those that sat through the morning sessions were able to pick up some ideas and thoughts that could help them in their business for the future. We want you to grow. If you grow, we grow. And that's what the concept today is about. Those that are going through the afternoon session, you'll go through these seminars and you'll see how you can help your business grow in the future. Before we go to our keynote speaker, I'd like to introduce to you Dr. David Cook. He's the new Managing Director of Konica Minolta, and he's just going to say a couple of words.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon, everyone. I've got to say it's absolutely amazing to see so many people assembled here between these two buildings, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming this morning for those sessions, and those of you who have arrived for a bit of lunch with us and the afternoon sessions. I know you're all busy people, so we really do appreciate that time. Just very quickly, I've been the Managing Director of Konica Minolta for all of about 4 or 5 months, so I'm a newbie in the role. And I guess my claim to fame is that I'm the first non-Japanese Managing Director of Konica Minolta in Australia. Now, I was my appointment was announced at a conference we had for about 250 people in April, and I was invited up on stage, of course, for the announcement to be made, and that our current Managing Director, Hirokaji, was stepping down and what have you. And of course, I knew that was coming, but I hadn't prepared a speech or anything like that. So between the time I stood up, walked up those half dozen steps, turned around to the audience, I'd prepared this little phrase as to what I thought I wanted to achieve as the Managing Director of Konica Minolta, along, of course, with everybody that worked in the company. And what I found myself spontaneously saying was that I wanted Konica Minolta to become synonymous as the company who cares. And I found myself talking about that care factor as being in 3 main areas. I wanted us to really care deeply for our staff and the people that work for Konica Minolta, as well as all of our partners that we work with. I wanted us to care deeply for our customers and the customer experience when interacting with Konica Minolta. And I also wanted Konica Minolta to care about the community in which it operated. So I'm pleased to say that we've been making some progress in these few months in those areas, I think. We surveyed all of our staff as to what they thought of Konica Minolta, what they thought of the managers at Konica Minolta, what they thought we could do better. Did they think we were customer-centric? And if not, what areas do we need to improve in? And we had 95% of people participate in a voluntary survey, which I think is, a very high number. And what it said to me was that our staff really do want to be engaged with the company that they work for. It's more than just a job for them. Tomorrow we're having what we call the Dealer Advisory Council. We're represented in certain parts of the market by service-capable dealers or resellers, and we get together about 10 of those people on a rotating basis every 6 months, and we sit in front of those people, and again we say, you're our business partners, tell us what we're doing well, tell us what we need to do better, and we take those ideas on board. And I think so far it's been found that we tend to implement those ideas. We're not just sitting there and listening, we actually want that knowledge and that information to make the company a better company. As regards caring for the community in which we operate, again, we asked our staff to vote for which charitable partners would they like us to support. And in the area of health, they voted for the Breast Cancer Network of Australia. In the area of social, they voted for the Smith family. And in the area of the environment, they voted for land care. We've since added a 4th humanitarian category, and we have formed a partnership with an Australian charity called Project Futures, which actually works to end human trafficking and sexual slavery, particularly of young girls throughout Asia. So pretty tough subject to be dealt with, but we decided at Konica Minolta that we'd step up and we would support that very, very worthy cause. That brings us to the other group, which is our customers and caring for our customers. And we could sit back and say, well, our parent makes fantastic technology. Our products win awards year in and year out. It's really good gear. And we could leave it at that. But of course, we import that technology. We didn't do the R&D here in Australia. We didn't do the manufacturing and so on. We've just had the good fortune to have our parent produce this fantastic technology. So it's up to us to do something with that in Australia, to do something more than simply supply that hardware or that box, if you like. Sometimes you'll hear that terminology. And today is part of that. Today is our attempt to say to you that we really do care about our relationship with you. We really do care about our partnerships with our suppliers. And we wanted to provide you with a forum today whereby we could impart knowledge that we felt that would be valuable for your businesses, to help your businesses grow and to help you stay up to date. And as you rotate through these 9 sessions, I think you'll find that we've really come up with some fantastic partners that are imparting very valuable knowledge for you. So for those of you who have been through this morning, hopefully that was your experience. For those who will be going through this afternoon, please just soak it all up, ask lots of questions, and go away having really maximised your time here. But thank you very much indeed, and hopefully I can get around and meet some of you before we start to move into the other sessions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David. I need to read this one. He's got a very strong past and I want to get it right. I'd like to introduce Tom Skotidis. Tom has been in business development, direct marketing and digital marketing since 1994. In 2007, he became the head of business development for an advertising agency, which he grew from $500,000 in annual billings to $7 million by 2011, just under 4 years. Half of these billings, $3.5 million, he generated by using LinkedIn and Twitter. In 2011, Tom launched his own agency, which is Asia Pacific's first to specialise in B2B lead generation using social networks. Tom's clients include Oracle, ANZ, Google, Telstra, Flight Centre, and other global B2B organisations. Please welcome Tom Skotidis to the stage.
Hi guys, it's a huge crowd. I'll get straight into it. Part of my promise to Konica Minolta is to, within 30 minutes, give you guys some actionable insights from social media and social networks that you can take away, or at least be inspired, not in a lofty way, but in a pragmatic way in terms of how you can use social networks to actually build your business, your printing business, and partners of Konica Minolta. So what I want to say is, back in 2007, as Sean said, when I took over this agency, we were turning over about $500,000, and I had to grow the agency. So I used cold calling, I hit the yellow pages, I used networking, I went to events, I sent direct mail, I used a PR agency, I begged a lot. I did whatever it took as a B2B marketer and salesperson to grow the agency. And we were generating leads, but a lot of them were middle managers or lower level managers. I wasn't getting the traction I needed. And I was always on LinkedIn since 2005, but never quite used it for business development. And then one day, someone actually came through my profile and said, I like your profile, looks really professional. I'd like to do business with you in First Rate, the name of my agency. So I thought that was quite weird back in 2008 that someone would come through my social profile rather than coming through the company website. So I looked into it, I started using it more and more, both LinkedIn and Twitter, and what I discovered was nothing groundbreaking, but something that was always right before my eyes, and that is social networks are not really a digital platform, the kind that scares lots of us into how do I use it, I'm not a digital expert. They're actually what I consider more like the doctor's middle office, where you can hear the doctor in the other room and you know your turn's coming up. They're actually like real life networking once removed. And I'll give you an example. On LinkedIn, if you join the network, a lot of people just invite people to connect. and just stare at these connections and go, what now? Think about this though, if you treat LinkedIn and Twitter like real life networking, you can actually not just connect with people on LinkedIn, but if you build a LinkedIn profile that's more than just a 3-line bio, that goes more deeply into your expertise as a printer, what your specialties are, what kind of runs, print runs you do every day, who you work with, it starts to get into the realm of professional PR. If you put a professional photo, if you get recommendations, then the people you're connected with actually start to see you as a specialist in what you do. And that's the emergence of personal brand. And one thing I want to emphasize to you is, even though my agency works with global B2B organizations, it all comes down to personal brand. Right now, you and me, literally standing here, all of you business owners are out there, selling, using your personal brand to build trust, build relationships. It's not actually your company brand. That might be a good brand, but it's more of a curtain or a background. When you're actually out there meeting clients or prospects, it's all about you. And what social networks allow us to do is take an already strong personal brand and get rid of the shackles of everyday life, which prevent you from meeting 10 people a day. You can't. Things get in the way. On social networks, they are scalable, viral platforms. So you can actually connect with 10 people a day. Now, you might argue connecting with 10 people a day isn't the same as meeting 10 people, but I will tell you from our work with clients, corporates, with sales forces, and my own experience, that once you've connected with people, if you just take the time to build your personal profile and then share content, which is a real key to social networking, you'll find that people start checking out your profile, you start getting likes or comments on your posts, and every time someone likes or comments a post of yours, that actually shows up on all of that person's news feeds. So your persona, your personal brand, is becoming amplified. Something you can do in real life. Now again, you might have a Rolodex of 500 people that you could look through, but how many of them can you speak to every day? How many of them can you stay top of mind with? But if you can connect with your clients and customers and people that you've met at a party or others that you know through others that you know, you're actually using the scalability and virality of social networks to amplify your brand, connect with more people. And in terms of content, if you're worried that you don't produce your own content, first of all, you can speak to Konica Minolta Marketing and maybe use their content and distribute this as third party, or you can go online and look for content that's written by other third parties, which you can then embrace and push out to your own network. Believe it or not, you don't actually have to become a blogger or an author like Ernest Hemingway and create your own amazing, thought-leading pieces of content. A lot of it already exists, and it's like a fire hose. Just go and look for it. Use Google, use industry journals, and when you find this content, read it, and just make sure that those you're connected with would love to read this article themselves. And what's the best way to do that? If you love it and you reckon it's industry leading, share it. And when you share it, add your own insight to it. You don't have to make it Einstein level. It can be as simple as a short summary of the article and throw in maybe one line of an original thought. If you can bring this using LinkedIn and Twitter 2-3 times a week, maybe even just once a week, you will be doing more than 98% of every professional on social networks. Just look at your own news feeds and think, as I'm speaking right now, how many people on your LinkedIn news feed do you see popping up that you say, wow, this guy is a true thought leader. The content he shares is amazing. Maybe one, maybe two. It's really rare, but I can tell you, working with huge corporates and sales forces and big budgets, it might sound impressive, but the truth is, all we do is build personal brand. This is what you need to do. Build your personal brand to the point of thought leader. And it doesn't happen overnight, okay? There's not a magic pill. You do have to put in some hard yards, but you're already putting in the hard yards as heads of sales or business owners. Just maybe replace some of the work you're doing, cold calling or other activities. Maybe don't go to one event and instead spend some time finding content, sharing it. If you look at what Konica Minolta is doing today, they are sharing content with you, right? They're sharing it with you. They're passionate about their customers. There's no overt sales happening. It's just about you and empowering you to be better at what you do, make more money, and hopefully that will come back to Konica Minolta through their position as thought leaders and content owners. Same principle on a social network. So the other thing I want to advise you is start writing every customer and partner and professional acquaintance you have. Write them down on a piece of paper and start connecting with them on LinkedIn or look for them on Twitter. You might end up with 100 names. Just do it. Once you've connected with these people, what really happens, first of all, is an amazing mathematical fact. Once you're connected to them, their network starts showing up on your network. And you might actually see Jennifer Smith, who you never thought about connecting with, but now, because you're connected with someone that is a client of yours, you can actually use your client's name that you're connected with, name drop them, and connect with Jennifer Smith, who might be a future prospect. Trust me, the law of numbers works amazingly and in mysterious ways. You cannot connect this much in real life. You've got your boss, you've got lunch, you've got the air, you've got taxis, you've got pollution. Too many environmental factors prevent you from this kind of scalable networking. But on social networks, you can do it. And remember, when you're posting content, do not go for knocking the ball out of the park. And I'm an American, I'm referring to a baseball analogy here, but don't try to knock it out of the park. Just give them honest, simple insights into the articles you're sharing. And we have a rule. After you've done about 20 posts, let's say you're doing 2 a week, that's about 10 weeks. We call this at my agency the baking period. All you've got to do is just be patient, and within these 2 months, you'll start to notice people approaching you, checking you out, saying things like, "Wow, Jeremy, I didn't know you were an expert in this area of printing." Or, "You seem really active, like you've got your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the industry." When you've got this kind of reputation that's amplified by social networks, when you go to meetings with people, you will start to notice subtle changes in their behavior toward you. They start treating you like experts, like an expert. And you use this ethically to close more deals. So you keep doing what you're doing, but layer on top this social activity and watch as people start thinking of you as an extraordinary professional. And another thing is something that I don't see on very much happening on LinkedIn or Twitter. People wait for those they're connected to reach out to them and ask them for a meeting. Trust me, however dominant or big you are, the number of inbound leads you're going to get will always be capped by a few factors. Number one, your website might be very poor at converting leads from busy executives. They might be interested in working with you, but the website doesn't convert them well. Or number two, they're busy executives and they're too busy to even go through a well-designed website. The key here is to think reaching out. So the way you reach out already in real life, you reach out with a cold call or you reach out by attending an event. Once you've built your reputation on social networks, you've earned the right, you've earned it, to reach out to Jennifer Smith, who you connected with 10 weeks ago who's seen your content in her news feed and now say, hey, Jennifer, we connected about 2 months ago, and I'm aware of your role at ABC Corporation. Not sure if you're aware, but I actually head up sales for this printing business. And because of your role, I thought I'd reach out. After all, we're connected on Twitter and LinkedIn, and see if you'd like to meet. This kind of social selling, that's what we call it, social selling, has a very high ratio of meetings requested to meetings agreed to. And it doesn't feel like sales. It feels like you've known the person, and I'll tell you what, they know you more than you know them. Because if you're the one posting content and connecting with people, usually it's they who recognize you more. And just a few other pieces of advice. Don't spam invite people. Just don't go and press connect. That, and I know some of you guys are smiling. I know you've done it. We all have. I began doing this many years ago. When you invite people to connect, always personalize it. Think about your experience. How many people actually invite you to connect and personalize the invitation? Maybe 1%. It's usually, I want to add you to my network. Don't do that. Be the person who actually takes the 2 minutes to write, hey Jim, hope you're well. I noticed that we actually know Nick Smith and David Cook in common. Actually, I used to work with David. I noticed you're the head of marketing at ABC. I work for Konica Minolta or XYZ. For networking purposes, I'd love to connect. That kind of connection script is human, it's genuine, it's relevant, and it's going to get you very high connection rates. And very high connection rates means lots of first-degree connections and lots of follows. And lots of first-degree connections means lots of people see your content, and that means you're going to amplify your brand and start becoming a thought leader and build your personal brand, what you're already doing, guys. So if you can follow these insights and tips and just do it every week, even once a week, you'll find that the mathematics of social networks take hold. We see this every day, and it starts to change how you do business development forever. Okay, thank you, guys.
Okay, firstly, another round of applause for Tom. I thought that was a great insight. Do we all agree? Okay, I guess it's going to be a little more difficult unless we've got a second mic. Have we got a second mic? Okay, who's got some questions they'd like to ask Tom? We're going to run around, and some of them might be topics on everyone's mind, and so it'd be good to ask some of those questions. So hands up, anyone? No one? Don't be shy. No one has any questions. He was that good. Jeez, Tom. There you go. Well, Tom's going to be around for a little while here, so while we're mingling and stuff, please come up and address Tom, have a chat to him. You know, one of the things that I picked up in that discussion was everyone here who's under, I guess, I look after, I emailed you the invitations, didn't I? Right? So in one word, we could use a little bit of spamming if that's it, but I went out to you with an invitation through our email. Imagine if I linked in with you and told you about events that were coming up and kept you informed on those events that are coming up, right? There are some other people out there that I actually have had phone calls from saying, why didn't you invite me? I said, didn't you get my email? No, but I'm on LinkedIn with you. Why didn't you get it through LinkedIn with me? And I didn't do it through LinkedIn. So I missed those opportunities for those people to be here today. So I think today what we can take away with Tom is we've got to think about our business in the future and who we're connecting with. So once again, thank you, Tom. Cheers. Okay, now before we all run away, because we're going to do some draws. So I asked first Peter McMillan from Investec to come up on the stage. Okay. All right. Prue, I need someone to hold the bowl. Okay, so grab that. Yep. All right, there you go. Let me grab these pieces out. Okay, Investec have put on a mini iPad for us as a draw today, and Investec have been giving seminars throughout the morning, which have been fantastic, filling people in on finance in today's market. So Pete, if you're able to draw the winner of this prize, dig deep. And they have to be here to win.
Peter Spencer from Snapbort Norwest.
Peter, we here? Beautiful. Renee, come on up. Thanks, Pete. You're done? Thank you. I don't put it back in. Okay. So Renee's from Adobe, and as you're probably aware through this morning's talk, there's been some large changes in that area, which are fantastic for the future. Right? Renee has got the availability to give away a 12-month subscription to Creative Cloud. So a great prize to win today. So dig deep, Renee.
Mahesh Chand from Double DIS.
Mahesh, come on up. Congratulations. There are two other offers from our partners today, and today was not about a product push. And I think everyone who's come out of the seminars this morning said to me, Sean, you didn't push product on us. You gave us knowledge for the future, and we thank you. And people who've come up and spoke to me said it was well worth their time today. There's two prizes that we have. Fiery, EFI have put on for the next two Firies that are sold, they'll put in Impose as part of the package to go with those Firies at the value of over $2,000 per Impose software that will go out with that. So the next two Firies sold through Konica Minolta will come free of charge with Impose. So we thank you, Anthony and Rod Cummings.